So I heard what Tim Hardaway Sr. said about JJ Reddick, saying that the ears were unathletic, etc. But JJ Reddick was mainly talking about the 60s and the 70s. He didn't bash the 80s and the 90s as bad as Anthony Edwards did. But Tim Hardaway Jr. said he dissed JJ Reddick. He said he just average at best. He wouldn't even let him play at the local park. And I agree on that. But JJ Reddick did come out in the early 00s. He benefited from the 3-point ball. Let's not get it twisted because he became a specialist in the Kyle Culver sense. So you want to call him a junior whopper, Kyle Culver, you can. That's what he benefited from. He was average enough, which is typical for being an NBA coach and having a complexion for the protection, which Tim Hardaway Jr. ain't gonna go into. Tim Hardaway Sr. though said something that I don't agree with. He compared himself to Steph Curry and said he would average 40 points today. I don't agree with that. I don't. Because the guy that was more comparable to Steph Curry back then was my dude Raul. Tim Hardaway Sr. was a very talented player. But Steph Curry at his best averaged 30.1. James Harden came closest with his MVP year. But I don't think Tim Hardaway Sr. would get no 40. I give him a high 20, maybe 31, 32. Depends on who he played with, depends on what he did. Everybody is a couch shooter without a hand up on the remote. I agree with him dissing JJ Reddick though, because that's not a no-brainer. JJ Reddick was out of pocket for even saying dissing Jerry West like that. The late Jerry West got Bob Cousy out of his seat to say something. That's the era he dissed the worst. To message to Tim Hardaway Sr. He went after the 60s and the 70s era way worse than he did the 80s and the 90s. He crazy, but he ain't stupid. There's a difference. But was he mediocre? Yeah. Was he third tier? Yeah. If you have a 12, 15 man rotation, where does he come off? Will you let him play in garbage time? Probably the 10th slot. 8th if you're being charitable. He wasn't going to be no starter, nothing like that. You know. I mean, he wasn't Kyle Kozer, and he wasn't Tim Legger level. He was just marginal. You know. I don't think he was as good as Brett Barry, being honest with you. If I'm thinking about his career in totality. Until he got to the Clippers and he had some threes because he stunk and he was passed around. He didn't even have a Jeremy Lin out of body experience, so how can I get excited? But Tim Hardaway Sr. to say he would average 40, and I watched him play, and he had a heck of a, when you talk about AI, Allen Iverson's crossover, Tim Hardaway had that pounce and bounce, pouncing and bounce. But I don't know about averaging no 40. I think I don't know about all that. I think Tim Hardaway Sr. played today. He'd probably be more closer to Donovan Mitchell, or maybe like Damian Lillard. He wouldn't be Steph Curry. Let's not get it twisted. That's who he would be like to me, that I remember. And maybe he'd have the tenacity of Jalen Brunson, but he wouldn't be no Steph Curry because he never was that kind of a leader. Not that kind of a leader, because Steph Curry led that Golden State team. Actually, Run TMC versus that Steph led. Steph had the it. But I do think Tim Hardaway Sr. got every right to diss JJ Reddick. I just don't agree about how many points he would average. I don't. Everybody says that. Shaq says that. Everybody thinks Jordan would average 40, 50. Everybody said Larry Bird would average 40. Magic would be a triple-double every year. Larry Bird would be 35 to 40. I mean, if what we saw, Charles Barkley too. How about the Charles Barkleys of the world, the Karl Malones of the world that they played? What would they do? See, Elijah one, what would he do? Kareem would be interesting. There's a lot of them that would have been interesting. Alex English, who actually led the league in scoring in the 80s. What he might do today. It's a lot of them. So, but everybody got wishful thinking. I agree with him about dissing JJ Reddick, but that 40 point a game, no, not the Tim Hardaway Sr. I remember because he was a very talented player. 23.8 for career, what have you, but he was not that kind of a player. I'd be more curious about Alex. You know who I'd be more curious about if they played today would be Isaiah Thomas. I'd like to see Zeke today, especially when he did that 40 years ago in the highest scoring game ever. I would listen to someone who I know, and Bernard King. I don't know about Tim Hardaway Sr. But I agree with him dissing JJ Reddick being ridiculous. But tell me what you think. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.